All right, so today we're going to discuss about budget. So as we all know, your budget is very important in, um, allocating the budget is very important in the hospital to, of course, um, give way para dun sa ating mga salaries at the same time for other expenses, okay, that will be needed, especially in the daily operation of the institution. So, a budget, as defined, is a plan or tool used to guide future operations for a specific period of time. So, there is a specific timeline or period or duration of time wherein the budget is being allocated. So your budgets are actually a plan that uses numerical data to predict the activities of an organization over a period of time. Okay, so it provides a mechanism for planning as well as control. So as well as all promoting each unit's needs and contributions as well. So your budget is actually um, given, all right, to the three major categories such as operating or the operations, capital, and of course your manpower or your human resources. So nurses has this role, or nurses must have a working knowledge of all three budget types to deliver cost-effective care. Mhm. So at the same time, class, you have to understand also that aside from the fact that budgets or your money, okay, are given to operations or is um, what do you call this one? Yes, it is paid for human resources and capital. Other purposes of budget or budgeting is that it ensures the most effective use of scarce financial and non-financial resources. Okay, so in budgeting, we also need to prioritize kung ano yung mga mas kailangan ng ating institution. Okay, is there a need for us to allocate more money to the manpower over the equipments, or is it uh, giving a larger allocation dun sa ating operations or dun sa ating mga equipments over human resources? So at the same time, the purpose of your budget is to coordinate efforts among organizational departments. Okay, so this will enhance all your daily operations as you know well. Okay, if enough allocation for each department or unit, uh, then there will be a smooth sailing and more unified, okay, work in the at the same time. Um, the budget will establish a frame of reference for managerial decisions. Okay, so this can also try. This will also um, test, okay, the critical skills, um, the decision making of the manager, especially when it comes to uh, that will need finances along the way. Okay, so it also provides a criterion for evaluating managerial performance. So yun ang ating tawag dito, the purposes of your budget or budgeting. So, types of budget would include, sabi nga natin kanina, we have three, okay, major categories in classifying our budget. So, we have operations, capital, and you have your human resources. So, in allocating budget, it includes now the salaries, okay, the remuneration of the manpower or the people working in the institution, that is paid either to permanent, temporary, or casual workers. So later on, we will be discussing also the classification of employees working in your institution. So some employees a receives now benefits, okay, and other incentives given by the institution. But of course, there are also employees, okay, receiving their salaries, but without, okay, other incentives or benefits. Okay, that is enjoyed by permanent employees. So, in making now a budget, it requires long-range planning. So it requires meticulous, okay, and of course, it needs now a long period of time for it to be very comprehensive. At the same time, it will be very detailed kung saan pupunta yung budget na ito. Okay, every centavo counts. So, lahat ng perang magagamit is would actually go, okay, would have a purpose. So, large, okay, amount of money could go to the purchase of land. Okay, so if the hospital is planning for an expansion, okay, so later on, it will be purchasing land, okay, or will be extending the hospital for a, for an annex or a larger facility or establishment of a facility, okay, a conduit, okay, conduit of the main building, all right, or the hospital is planning for, for a is applying for accreditation, and it needs now better and improved facilities. Then there is a need for the hospital to purchase or to buy a land, okay, to accommodate the building. So at the same time, it includes some physical changes such as replacement or expansion of a unit. Okay, for example, the hospital is planning for an additional for level 3 or level 2. Ang kailangan natin sa level 2 is ICU, okay, intensive care unit. So since wala tayong available na building, okay, all of the units or the buildings are occupied for the different wards, kailangan ng hospital na magpatayo ng bagong building um to home the intensive care unit. That is why, okay, the hospital would later on plan to purchase, okay, or to buy a piece of land para pagpatayuan natin ng intensive care unit para ma-meet natin yung criteria of a secondary hospital. Right? So, an expansion of the unit, major equipment, and inventory. So, kailangan natin major equipment if we are applying for accreditation or we want better facilities at the same time. We would like to invite more patients or clients, okay, to come into our hospital because the more services we offer, the larger, okay, the clients or the larger the number, okay, of clients who will be coming in to our institution. At the same time, it includes or also purchase of minor equipment. We can also repair now the old and obsolete, the old dated, okay, facilities or equipments in the hospital. At the same time, the purchase of supplies or overhead expenses as well. So we will be dealing with that later on. So nurses have the greatest control over operating budget expenses. Okay, so in healthcare organization, the operating budget accounts for income and expenses generated on a daily basis. Okay, within each department. So we as nurses have the greatest control over the operating budget. Okay, and the revenue generation is based on billable services and expenses associated with, of course, the use of your equipment, supplies, and other indirect costs. All right. So, lagi tayong naglalagay or nag-aalat or nag-allocate minsan may nalalagay tayo doon others. Okay, we do not identify this as part of our expenses. But of course, we anticipate, okay, other expenses that may come along or that may arise, okay, during the course of duty or during that period of time na naglagay tayo ng budgets. For example, a budget for 1 year, okay, hindi naman lahat ng naiisip natin ay hindi lahat ay naiisip natin actually na magkakaroon. For example, may mga disasters, okay, may mga natural or man-made disasters that may inflict, okay, the area or the location of the hospital. May mga damage na equipments doon because of the disaster. So hindi natin na ano yun, na isasama sa budget. So we allot a certain amount, okay, na para siyang contingency. Okay, it's like a contingency fund that na pwede nating hugutin, okay, in cases of emergency. So when patients are not discharged as planned or nurses incorrectly input the patient status as in outpatient, the healthcare facility's operating budget is adversely affected because the patient's length of stay is increased. So another factor that adversely affects a facility's operating budget is the lack of timely communication to alert your staff, especially now your social worker or your case manager who's handling, okay, the expenses, okay, or payments of your patient. So this lack of communication when it is when it escalates, okay, so the expenses or there will be an increase in the expenses by contributing to the patient's length of stay, causing out of control, okay, in the healthcare cost. All right. So okay. So moving on, ayan. So ito yung ating first type, going to the wages, salaries, at the same time purchase of equipment, land, all right, for the expansion and other minor expenses. That is now your manpower budget. Okay. So ito yung sinasabi natin kanina na this can also be called as your human resources. Okay. So, yung ating long range, yung ating purchase of land naman, we have your capital expenditure budget and your minor equipment or operating budget. So, in some books, your manpower budget is also called as your human resources, your capital expenditure budget is your capital, and your operational budget. Okay. Ayan. So, you have different types of institutional budget according or depending on the management philosophy. So you have open-ended budget, fixed ceiling budget, and your flexible budget. So balikan lang natin yung ating tawag dito, yung ating types of budget kanina. So basic example of your manpower budget would be the nurse agency cost. Okay. So yung hiring of once you hired a nurse or an employee, kailangan natin bigyan ng ano yan, ng tawag dito, ng kanyang salaries, ng benefits, ng allowances if there is a need to give them allowances for training, seminars, or for official business or travels. So binibigyan natin sila ng allowances. What else? The consultation fees of your doctor is a part of your manpower budget. Trainings and seminars attended by your staff is an example also of a manpower, personnel, or human resource budget. Okay. So at the same time, all right, overtime pays, okay, is part of your manpower budget. Your tawag dito, yung relievers, okay, ng mga nurses natin or other staff na nag-serve as a relievers in cases of nurses getting absent or tawag dito, may mga emergencies. Okay, so we get relievers from, we outsource, okay, relievers from outside, from outside the institution. At the same time, you have your capital expenditures. Na nabanggit natin kanina, yung purchase of land for hospital expansion, yung electrocardio ECG machines, ventilators, dialysis machines, um, ano pa dito, physical plants, okay, are part of your capital expenditure. And while your operating budget, yung mga daily na nagagamit natin like IV tubings, IV cannula, yung tongue depressors, yung papalitan na natin na sphygmomanometers, your 4x4, yung mga cherry balls, urinary catheter kits, NCT kits, and all the other supplies that we usually use or we usually tawag dito, utilize, okay, na ginagamit natin um, in our daily services. Okay? So, yun yung ating, you have to understand or you have to memorize those types. Okay? So, magiging part yun ng ating exam later on. So, you have now your types of institutional budget depending on management philosophy. So, you have open-ended budget, fixed ceiling budget, flexible budget. You have performance budget, okay, program budget, you have your zero base and your sunset budget. So itong mga types of budget na ito will be discussed okay along the process while we tackle now your fiscal okay fiscal management. All right. So factors in budget planning. So first, yung budget planning natin should be patient-centered. Okay, ano ba yung makakabuti dun sa pasyente natin while uh, 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 makakabuti dun sa pasyente natin. Okay, and why are we doing this budget actually? This is purposely or primarily um, due to the reason, okay, of giving or allocating a larger sum of money for the betterment of our patients, for the betterment of our patient, or for in improving also the condition of our clients. All right. So at the same time, aside from thinking about or thinking of our patients' wellness or well-being, we also take into consideration that we have personnel, okay, that who are actually depending on their salaries and their wages, okay, and this is their source of income as well. So without the personnel, sabi nga natin, your personnel or staff are the life of your institution. So without them, we will not be able to carry out all the things that we need to give, we need to offer or we need to give to our patients, all right? So also we have to take note of the hospital or the healthcare facility. So sabi nga natin kanina, we also allocate a budget for the operations. Okay? Kagaya sa school, okay, like for a perfect example sa ating school is that may mga nakikita kayo minsan na additional cost, okay, or medyo nagja-jack up yung amount, okay. So, for example, dun sa may isang parte, may isang babayaran kayo na ina-expect niyo ay 500 pesos lang for one semester, nagiging 800 or nagiging 900 siya. So, isipin niyo na hindi mabubuhay ang isang agency, isang institution without without a budget, without financial resources. That is why, okay, medyo nagja-jack up ng konti yung ating binabayaran because we are studying in a private institution. This private institution is getting no help from the government. Alright, walang tumutulong sa kanya kundi siya lang. Okay. Wala siyang ibang source of income kundi siya lang din. And we have to understand that for this institution to survive, okay, for this institution to survive the test of time, okay, kailangan niyang uh, kailangan niyang maging profitable as much as possible. So, all right. So also, okay, we also want to secure, aside from taking into consideration the allocating now a large sum of budget to our patient, dun sa ating personnel, and dun sa profitability also of the hospital or the healthcare facility, we ayaw nating bigyan ng mediocre, okay, yung so-so or yung average type of service yung ating mga pasyente. So, We also set aside now trainings, seminars, enhancement seminars or trainings, okay, to uplift, okay, or to raise the standard of nursing care and supervision. Alright? So, kapag hindi rin quality ang service na binibigay natin, no matter how cheap, okay, or no matter how good our hospital is, or how tawag nito, how neat, okay, yung ating mga personnel, kasi yun ang una natin nakikita eh, yung kanilang neatness, yung kanilang itsura, yung kanilang aura. If we do not give a quality or a standard nursing care and supervision, hindi rin tayo dadayuhin, hindi tayo ipapatronize ng ating mga constituents or the people, uh, yung mga tao na ina-expect natin to avail of our services. All right? So, yun yung mga factors that you need to consider also in allocating now the budget. All right? So, before we move on, we have to understand the fiscal terminology such as equity index, assets, okay, baseline data, break-even point, and a lot of fiscal terminologies. Actually, dito sa ginagamit nating book, okay, if you have purchased your book on leadership and management, okay, by the way, I think no one has ever purchased from your batch yung buti pa yung third year ngayon, ang aga-aga na nilang nag-purchase, nakaka-amaze, nakakabilib yung mga third year ngayon kasi they already purchased. But of course, I'm sure you have your own material, you have your own book sa inyong mga bahay siguro which you are using right now. So ang dami nating mga fiscal terminologies that we'll be using along the way. So you have now acuity index, which is the weighted measurement that refers to the severity of illness of patients for a given time. Okay. So later on makikita natin yung scoring natin na 1, I think 1, 2, 3, 4 dito sa atin. So 1 is actually less severe. Okay, yung mga mild cases natin. 2 are moderate cases. Yung ating 3 is severe, and yung ating last is extremely severe cases na yung mga yun. So assets also are financial resources that a healthcare organization receives, such as accounts receivable. So ito yung kinikita. Alright, ito yung nakikita natin na yung physical asset natin like the buildings, okay, your new equipment, or assets of the hospital. So, assets are profitable in nature, yung mga napapakinabangan natin, okay, nagkukos ng pagdami ng kita ng ating hospital or ng ating institution. Baseline data, historical information on money spent, acuity level, patient census, resource needed, hours of care, and so forth. Alright, so marami tayong type of baseline data which we'll be discussing as we go along. And you have your break-even point, the point at which revenue covers the cost. So break-even, ibig sabihin, yung kinita mo is equal or almost equal to the expenses incurred. For example, ang kinita ng hospital is 10 million, pero during that period of time, yung 10 million is the same or almost the same expense, okay, ng tawag dito ng hospital din. So it's a break-even point. All right, the amount of tawag dito, the amount of kita, okay, yung kinita ng hospital is the same amount of their expenses. All right. So, other fiscal terminologies, you have your capitation, case mix, okay, your cash flow, controllable cost, and of course, cost-benefit ratio. Madami ito. So capitation is a prospective payment system that pays health plans or providers a fixed amount per enrollee per month for a defined set of health services. Okay, so ito yung an example of this would be your HMO, so mga Medicare, Medicare. Okay, so ito yung mga capitations natin paying the hospital, okay, for the expenses incurred by their clients. Okay, have case mix type of patient served by an institution. Okay, so we have different types of patients. Okay, yung mga sa Pilipinas, you have your PhilHealth members, you have non-PhilHealth members, meron yung mga pasyente natin indigents. Okay, so madali lang pag sa government hospital, madali lang i-classify. So indigent ng PhilHealth at saka PhilHealth members. Sa mga private hospitals na under HMO, may mga classification din yan. So, may mga pasyente na covered sila if they availed now surgery or surgical operation, babayaran niyo ng kanilang HMO. Meron din naman yung may mga HMOs na ang babayaran lang is yung kanilang confinement at yung mga gamot ng pasyente will be are excluded from the payment. So this is types of patient served by the institution. All right. So we have cash flow, the rate at which money is received and dispersed. Yung cash flow, yung pasok ng pera. So in and out. All right. So yung cash out, cash in. Okay. Yung inflow and outflow of money. Okay, in the hospital. Controllable costs, costs that can be controlled or that vary. You also have the cost-benefit ratio, numerical relationship between the value of an activity or procedure in terms of benefits and the value of the activities or procedure cost. So, i-discuss din natin itong cost-benefit ratio later. Alright, so other fiscal terminologies, madami, cost center, direct cost, and fixed budget. Okay, fixed cost. Ayan, so I hope you're writing this class. Yung ating mga tawag dito, yung ating mga terminologies in your book. Alright, so full cost, HMOs. Okay, very important yung ating HMOs. Okay, I think you were able to experience a duty at the PLT hospital. So you have heard, of course, of the HMOs, okay, na ina-avail po natin mga pasyente, alright, including their dependents. I have the indirect costs, alright, uncontrollable costs, operating expenses, patient classification system, and your revenue. Okay, so sana sinusulat natin itong mga terminologies natin. Staffing distribution. Okay, so staffing distribution, pag-aaralan din natin yan. How many nurses are you going to schedule on a morning duty, on an afternoon duty, and on a night duty? Okay, ilan ang NA na ilalagay mo per shift at ilan ang mga UAP o yung mga unlicensed personnel. Okay, UAP. Ano nga yung A? Unlicensed. Alright, sige. Hanapin natin yung definition ng UAP. Ayan, ma-discuss naman natin maya-maya. Okay. O dito sa Pilipinas, tinatawag natin silang mga IWs or institutional workers. Okay, some pwede rin natin silang tawagin NA, yung mga nagpapaligo sa pasyente, yung mga kumukuha ng mga vital signs, okay, or any personnel who are assisting the nurses. Okay, staffing mix, the ratio of RNs to other personnel, okay, hospital also vary under staffing mix policies. So staffing mix or the number of personnel assigned in a certain area or assigned in a certain or in a particular shift depends on the number of admitted patients. Depende rin yan doon sa capability ng nurse. Okay, so kina-consider din natin yung capability of the nurse if he or she can handle 60 patients on a night duty. Halimbawa, dalawa lang sila. Okay, so kakayanin ba nitong nurse na ito na mailagay? Or kung hindi pa siya ready, so pwede natin siyang isama doon sa mas maraming o doon sa mas maraming number of staff na duty. So usually, ina-assign natin yung mga new nurses natin in the morning. Okay? So pag kaya na nila, there are autonomous, independent na sila sa trabaho sa hospital, we can let them experience other shift, okay, or other shifts aside from the morning duty gradually. All right. So turnover ratio, rate at which employees leave their jobs for reasons other than death or retirement. The rate is calculated by dividing the number of employees leaving by the number of workers in the year and multiplying by 100. So there, as of this present time, there's really a medyo kumonte yung turnover ratio of nurses. Okay, o yung paglabas, ang ibig sabihin ng turnover ratio is yung paglabas, okay, ng nurses, okay, or ng mga staff in the hospital in a 1 year period. Okay? So gaano ba karami ang umaalis, okay, due to retirement, due to yung pag-resign nila, okay, sa hospital. So ang considered lang dito is the resignation, okay? Okay, o pag-awol ng mga nurses natin in the institution. So during our time when I graduated from nursing, and as soon as I graduated, kasi I immediately took the review, and luckily I passed the board examinations. Um, the first time I took it. So um, pag-apply namin sa hospital, ang daming nurses. So sa batch pa lang namin, we are the second largest batch who took the nurses licensure examination at about 78,000 during my time. And out of 78,000, I think 78 or 80,000, only 31%, okay? Yes, parang 31% lang ang pumasa sa amin. I think 31,000 lang out of that number. So napakarami pa rin ng 31,000 na pumapasa kasi the following exam, kasi dalawang beses exam ang nurses eh. So in a year, parang umaabot ng siguro mga 50,000 or 60,000 ang pumapasa in a year. As compared to the number of hospitals, wala pang 50,000 ng hospitals dito sa Pilipinas. So napaka daming supply pero napaka-liit nung demand. Okay? So the tendency is yung mga hospitals the hospitals in here in the Philippines have become a training ground for nurses, and then eventually after a year or even may mga ibang countries na dati na 6 months lang, they already get out from the country after their 6 months and 6 months to 1 year exposure in the hospitals here, and then find another job or a better job or a greener job or employment abroad. So maalis sila, okay, tapos pumapasok yung mga bagong nurses. Okay? Or others would find a non-healthcare related job such as the BPOs, yung mga call centers natin, yung mga fast food chains. Marami din mga mga nurses na pumasok sa mga fast food chains, mga trabaho na pansamantala. BFP have become a haven for some nurses also, and at the same time the PNP or the Philippine National Police naging ano din yan, puntahan din ng mga nurses, okay, after they graduate from nursing, since there is a little demand for nurses in the hospital or the critical facilities. So turnover ratio is the amount of nurses leaving from the hospital other than death or retirement. Okay. So other terminologies that you have to take note: variable cost, okay, workload units, okay, ayan. So we consider also the of um, our nurses in a particular area. So um, comparing the workload of a nurse in the ICU and in the ER, medyo mas mabigat ng konti ang trabaho doon sa emergency room. Okay, for me in my opinion, mas mahirap ng konti o mas mabigat ng konti yung trabaho sa emergency room because there is a larger amount of of patients, okay, coming in and out from the emergency room. Challenging, okay, so challenging ang ER, but at the same time, very exhausting and tiring ang trabaho sa emergency room because aside from the number of patients coming in and out, hindi mo alam minsan yung pupunta doon, okay, to seek for consultation. And kaya nga siya emergency because halos lahat ng mga pasyenteng ma-encounter mo doon are really undergoing an emergency situation. So, may mga dugo ang pasyente, may mga pasyente minsan na buntis, tapos palabas na yung ulo ng bata, and minsan pag nararatel ka or sobrang anxious ka, hindi mo alam kung ano una mong gagawin. Okay? Alam mo kapag on a normal normal tawag dito, pag nasa normal state ka or normal situation, alam mo yung gagawin mo, pero pag nandun na na pro-project or naiisip mo na situation, nakakalimutan mo na siya bigla because of anxiety attack. Alright? So, minsan, mas marami tayong nilalagay na manpower, okay, or personnel in an area na mas mabigat ang trabaho. So, as you can see, in our hospital before, dalawa lang ang naka-duty sa um, four bed, okay, capacity na ICU. And I think nasa 5 to 6 ang um, pinupunta nila o ina-assign nila na staff dun sa emergency room who's handling 30 to 50 patients in one shift. Okay, so iba pa yung maliban pa dyan yung mga minsan mga VIPs na pang OPD ang case, pero nagpupunta sila sa emergency room because they, VIP, they feel as if their condition would need an urgent or emergent uh, care. So ganoon, kahit sinisipon o inuubo lang ng 3 days, pero dahil VIP nga, anak ni ganitong politiko, o kaya konektado kay ganitong politiko, okay, or kakilala ng mataas na tao sa lipunan, ganyan. So, minsan, naaano natin sila, na-encounter natin sila sa emergency because they want an immediate care. Kasi kapag sa OPD, mahaba ang pila. Okay, so zero-based budgeting. So, this is a type of budgeting that begins at 0 each year. Okay, so ubos ang budget natin during the end of the year. At beginning the year, 0 siya. So that means every peso or dollar spent needs to be justified. So it ensures that activities aren't continued simply because they were carried out in the past. Okay, so zero-based budgeting would mean no program is taken for granted. So lahat nabibigyan o na aalatan, okay, so being allocated. Each program must be justified each time funds are requested. Okay, so napaka-strict. Kailangan ito ng letter, ng proposal, ng budget proposal. Then after the event or after the program, kailangan uh, mag may documentation. At the same time, meron din siyang okay, ano tawag dun, yung summary of all the expenses, para audit, okay? Meron siyang audited na ano tawag dito na form, okay? Kung saan napunta si 50 pesos, saan napunta yung 150 pesos, mga ganyan. So, naka inventory. Okay? So, naka-liquidate. Sorry, ayan. So, managers decide what will be done, what will not be done, and how much of an activity will be implemented. And major advantage of this zero-based budgeting is that it forces the managers to set priorities and justify the resources. So budgetary process, number one, is you have to assess, okay, what needs to be covered in the budget. Okay, so first step is to assess. Okay, so in the nursing service, in our personnel, the number of staff versus average number of patients. So in assessing now, we need to take note of the needs to be covered in the budget. So generally, This determination should reflect input from all levels of the organizational hierarchy because budgeting is most effective when all personnel using the resources are involved in the process. So it is very important that all personnels are involved in the budgetary hearing or in the in the making of your budget. Okay, so nursing service personnel means the number of staff versus average number of patients. So this is now your nurse patient ratio. Your nursing care hours should also be taken into consideration. If you're a permanent employee, you can avail of your vacation, sick, or other leaves. Okay. So also in some hospitals, in some hospitals where the management are very supportive of their employees, napaka-importante din sa kanila ng continuing education like for example, there is a need for a personnel to be trained as emergency medical technician for our pre-hospital um, admissions. Kung may kailangan tayong i-train for anesthesia, mga anesthesia nurses. Okay. Kung may mga gino-groom tayo to become supervisors or head nurses, we let them attend convention seminars, trainings, and of course continuing professional education such as masters and your doctorate education. So at the same time, there is also an allocation of there's a need for us to assess also the staff development programs. Ayan. So is there a need for our staff to undergo trainings regarding infection control? Okay, since napag-alaman natin that for a certain period, yung ating hospital have a massive or there is a large number of patients contracting now infection through nosocomial infection. So nosocomial ibig sabihin it is a hospital acquired infection because of maybe hindi tayo nagpo-practice masyado or wala tayong policy or guidelines regarding now infection control. That is why there is a need for the hospital to assess the need for trainings or seminars regarding now infection control. So mag-aalat ang hospital ng budget para yung mga staff, yung ating mga concerned individuals or concerned employees must be able or must attend this type of seminar or training. So others sa ating supplies would need now or we should assess now the need for face towels, new thermometers, or additional thermometers because of, you know, yung paulit-ulit na ginagamit natin na thermometer in various types of patients could also predispose our clients to contracting now infection. So for example, si patient A, nag-positive siya ng COVID pero asymptomatic, wala siyang mga simptomas. Ginamit mo ngayon yung thermometer mo, without properly disinfecting it bago mo ginamit dun sa pangalawa and the succeeding patients, there's a higher chance of, letting other patients or predisposing patients to contract now the same disease or the same condition. That is why if there is a loan, or single existing thermometer, we must purchase, or procure another kind of, another thermometer. Okay, para mas maraming magamit tayo na, mas marami tayong magamit na thermometer. Also, pajamas or linens sa ating mga beds. Kasi minsan, naiuwian ng pasyente natin, out of excitement. Si pasyente ang sisiyaya o kaya kasama nila sa bahay ang nagligpit ng mga gamit tapos accidentally naiuwi nila yung mga gamit sa hospital. Then the hospital would need to, they need to purchase or to replace this equipment or this supplies. After assessing now, you have to plan, all right? So you have now to plan. All right. In some books, ang next na step in our budgetary process is diagnosis. So I would just like to mention this. So in the case of budget planning, the diagnosis would be the goal or what needs to be accomplished. So this will create a cost-effective budget that maximizes the use of available resources. So for example, may mga available resources pa tayo na malapit na mag-expire, mga gano'n. May mga gamit tayo na hindi pa rin nagagamit hanggang ngayon. Okay, so we can actually undergo the process of diagnosis to rethink about or to reassess, okay, reevaluate these equipments, okay, na hindi nagagamit ng hospital. I still remember a hospital in Benguet when I was still a student. Ang daming mga donations, okay, o dinonate na machines from Japan. Kasi that hospital is a Japanese funded hospital. So, magaganda yung mga gamit nila, okay, magaganda yung mga machines, but due to lack of training, okay, or seminar, hindi alam ng mga staff doon kung paano gamitin yung machine, na itatambak lang sila sa mga bodega. So, hindi nagagamit si machine, okay, na makakatulong sana dun sa pag expedite o pagpapabilis ng proseso minsan sa hospital kasi kokonti na nga yung manpower, tapos wala pang ability yung hospital to purchase these equipments para ma-hasten or ma-fast track yung ating mga transactions. Okay. So, yun yung kulang. Walang training, walang seminar on how to utilize this equipment. So, we need to diagnose. Okay. So, is there a need for us to purchase another one? Meron pa naman tayong available equipment na nakatambak lang sa bodega. Ayan. The third one is actually to plan. Okay, the third step is to plan. So the budget plan may be developed in many ways. A budgeting cycle that is set for 12 months is called a fiscal budget year. Okay, so a budget that we run for a 12-month period of time is called now your fiscal year budget. Okay, so this is now your fiscal year budget, a budget that would run for a 1 year or 1 year period of time. So this fiscal year, which may or may not coincide with the calendar year, is then usually broken down into quarters. So pwede siyang ma-divide into okay, four different quarters. One for the first quarter would include now January to March. Second quarter is April to June. Third quarter July to October. July to September, and the last quarter would include October until December. So most budgets are developed for a 1 year period of time, but a perpetual budget may be done on a continual basis each month, so that 12 months of future budget data are always available. Okay. So the fourth step would be implementation or yes, okay, implement. This is an ongoing monitoring and analysis that occurs to avoid inadequate or excess funds at the end of the fiscal year. Okay. So we are actually worried about excess insufficiencies. Okay, baka kulang yung budget na naialat. So in most healthcare institution, monthly statements outline each department's projected budget and deviations from this budget. And last would be your evaluation. So the budget must be reviewed periodically and modified as needed. So akala natin kapag naiset na yung budget, may kasulatan na, may black and white, ganun na siya, static na hindi. So the budget actually that is intended for a 1 year period of time would undergo now continuous, okay, continuous modification. So each unit manager is accountable for budget deviations in his or her unit. Okay, so yeah, all right. Okay, so establishing now nursing standards, policies, and your procedures. So, your nursing standards, okay, why do we budget? Ito yung isang reason kanina is the upliftment, raising now your nursing standards. So, standards to measure performance, all right? So, you have now your, these are the things that you have to measure, okay, according to their performance, organizational chart, or the structure, your criterion or your philosophy and goals, your mission, vision, and your objectives. The standards also, the objectives shall reflect philosophy and your policies of nursing procedures. These are specific directions for implementing written policies. And as a nurse, we must consider the safety of the patient, comfort while undergoing the procedures, and the use of supplies and equipment. All right. Okay, so policy is the broad guidelines for the managerial decisions. It governs how action of workers. These are now your guidelines in uh, in performing your duties and responsibilities. So the characteristic now of a good policy is that this should be written and must be very understandable and known by those who will be affected by them. So a good policy should be comprehensive in its scope, should be specific, it should be time bound, there should be a room for assessment and improvement as well. It's, yun nga yung sinasabi natin kanina, okay, it should be flexible, okay, and must be bendable, nababali siya, okay, depending on the situation or depending on the circumstances. Consistent to prevent uncertainty, feelings of bias, preferential treatment, and unfairness. Okay, so it must not side, okay, a specific group or person in the institution. So it should encompass all the, um, all the members of the institution. It should be realistic. Okay, iiwasan natin kasi minsan yung naging idealistic tayo. Okay, kahit naman walang budget or kahit hindi naman kaya talaga ng institution natin. So we must be very realistic para hindi ka madaling ma-frustrate. Kasi if you know the real scenario, if you are aware of what is really happening in your institution, hindi ka mag you won't expect too much, okay? And in return, if you do not expect too much, mabilis yung ating recovery from the pain, okay, or from the frustration. Unlike if we anticipate, so unlike if we tawag dito, yung nagiging idealistic ka on one in a certain institution, you expect too much that the institution would give us like this and like that, tapos hindi nila natupad, mas masakit, mas mahirap tanggapin. At the same time, allow for discretion and interpretation by those responsible for it. So you always have to seek for an expert's advice, okay, in interpreting now, okay, these policies that is set by the institution. Because the problem here is if we aren't able to interpret it correctly and we misconstrue the contents, okay, and the message of the policy, then we will have a problem later on, right? So nursing service policies, okay, so we are responsible for accidents, admissions, okay, we take part in the autopsy and breakage of supplies and equipments. Okay, the bulletin board should also be updated. We must be very aware of the different committees in the nursing service department. We must take part also in the grievances and complaints of our staff, okay, and our patients as well. And of course, the consent, death of our patient, discharges of our patients, doctor's orders, equipment supplies, and others, okay, that we see on this slide. All right. So general areas in nursing that requires policy formulation, of course, your responsibility as a staff. So even before you applied, okay, for in a hospital, for example, you are aware, okay, the hospital would presume and assume that you are well aware of your responsibility of your job, okay, in the area. Patients and family rights should also be considered. It should be taken into consideration, and the guide that will and the document or maybe a policy that would guide you is of course the patient's bill of rights. All right, so you should know this rights of your patients. And actually, sabi ko nga in one of the case presentations, there are a lot of violations committed by healthcare professionals and at the same time staff of the hospital to our patients. But since nurses, at the same time, our patients are not aware of their rights, okay, they just let it pass. Okay, hinahayaan lang nila. Okay, minsan sila na nagpapasensya. Hindi nila pinapalaki yung mga bagay-bagay. But in our time, since we are very we have an access, okay, to the different communication platforms. Okay, we can already post our complaints online. Okay, or we can seek now the help of people whom we do not know yet. Okay, like for example, si Erwin, si Pulpo is very prominent. Okay, nagiging ano siya, he is the most prominent sumbugan ng bayan in the country. And of course, the rest of the world, okay, where na merong mga Philippine in that country. All right. So personal management and welfare. So, you know, ito madalas yung nagiging cause or nagiging rason ng ating pag-formulate ng mga policies. Okay, because of the misconducts, okay, of our personnel. So example would be absences, tardiness, decorum, behavior. All right. So nursing procedures, sabi ni Benson, okay, si Lydia and Ronald Benson, they are prominent authors of leadership and management books. Okay, so that the procedure is a specific directions for implementing written policies. Would that an example would be your admission of patients, your morning care, okay, your bathing and bed making procedures, okay, of your patients. It should be a daily habit, okay, insertion of catheters for those patients indicated to have one, catheterization also, discharge of patients, and of course your auto administration. So actually, in some countries, these procedures um, are written in the list. Okay, at pinamayaran niya ng pasyente. Bawat serbisyo na nire-render sa kanila. But here in the Philippines, package deal yan. So, no matter how good you are, no matter how sipag you are, okay, pare-parehas pantay-pantay lang kayo ng sahod nung hindi masyadong nagtrabaho. Okay? Suggestions in developing procedures. So, first is you have to analyze its motion or step for efficiency, safety, and comfort of the therapeutic effectiveness for the patient. So that is self-explanatory. So this is actually the principle of beneficence. Okay, the comfort and the well-being of your patients are actually prioritized, or should be the priority of every nurse, and the provision of safety, okay, and comfort towards our patient. So leaves each action in the order of performance, right? What else? Word directions clearly and concisely, making them easy to understand. So we have to take note that, of course, okay, there are patients or there are people who uh, cannot understand immediately some descriptions or some messages that we are okay conveying to them. Okay, that's why directions should be clear and concise. Ibig sabihin yung concise is it is short, but it is direct to the point. Okay, wala na siyang paligoy-ligoy. Same time, include complete directions for the preparation of the patient and equipment and for the necessary care and follow-up for the patient after the procedure is complete. So, napaka-importante ng ating follow-up since we are not just monitoring the previous or the previous condition of our patient, but of course the condition of their offsprings must have an effect, okay, on their well-being experience at the same time in the future or in the future. Okay, so I think we should stop from here. Decision making would be our next topic, next meeting. So thank you so much for joining us today and have a good day.